Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into this little tutorial here, guys, I just want to say, throw some stuff out there. So for one, I have some link in the description of this video. Check out my Esty shop, me and my wife's Esty shop. I do print PIF parts. I know I've said in a couple of videos, but it's one of the ways if you want to support the channel. If you guys like what I do, you can support the channel by letting me print your printer parts, and that will give me a little bit of kickback to, keep funding these awesome gadgets and bringing you some nice content. My wife also went ahead and created a PayPal account that if you wanted to donate a little bit of funds, a little bit of change here and there, just to help buy some of these stuff, gadgets, and just to help out the channel in general. You don't have to do it. You're not obligated to do any of these things, but it's a nice thought if you guys do help out the channel in a way. So I'm not going to be doing any type of Patreon at the moment because I don't really have any service to offer for Patreon at the moment. So maybe in the future, down the road, if I think of something that'd be cool to do. But right now, guys, if you just want to support the channel, you just give me a little bit of kickback on the Amazon affiliate links and stuff like that. That does help me pay for some of these little things and just keep more content coming for you guys. So, but yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, I know these things are getting expensive. This is a Pi 4B 2GB, and these getting very expensive. Luckily, I bought a bunch of Pi last year before they got very expensive, and so yeah, I'm really happy I grabbed these. However, I did buy a Pi W2 02, so that means a version 2 of the 0. And that was pretty pricey. I paid $50 something from Chicago Electronics to put it into my Tictac build that's on my channel. If you guys haven't seen that series, check it out. I appreciate you guys. Remember to also like and subscribe again, guys, if you guys enjoy my content. But yeah, that was $52. Really expensive for something that was $50. And so the prices are outrageous for Pi. So I know everybody's looking for a different alternative, and I've been looking as well. And I was browsing around Amazon a couple days ago, and I saw the T95 Android box. And you know me, I like to bargain cheap. I don't like to spend a ton of money on these electronic things. They're so abundant. I think they should be cheap. And this one I saw for $28 on Prime Day, and I left it in my cart and decided to buy it and give it a go. And after researching the web, I found that you can actually install Armbian, which is a ARM-based Linux distro for ARM-based processor. And yeah, and there was an actual article of how to install it on this specific model. And so I just wanted to highlight that you can use this to run Klipper. In terms of performance, it's running a ARM A53 quad core. So I want to say it's completely equivalent to a Pi 4. I would say it's more equivalent to a Pi B, a Pi 3B. When I saw the performance, honestly, it's not far away from this. It's actually right in the middle between this and the Pi 3B. So it's right there. So you're not losing any performance with this. The only thing you will be losing going to something like this is that the form factor. You don't have the form factor of a Pi. You don't have the GPIO pins, and you don't have as much USB. So that's what you're going to be really losing going to this. Other than that, this can do the same thing as a Pi in terms of running a printer, right? So if you're worried about input shaper, it has plenty enough power for input shaper. The only thing you will need now is to buy a Pi Pico, and then do that. Use the Pi Pico to run the accelerometer via USB. So that's the only difference you would do instead of running it through the GPIO pin directly to the Pi. So that's the only thing you would do differently. In this case, this will be going in my Voron 2.4. So I did order a USB 3 adapter to expand the USB ports for me, so that should help offset this in terms of USB ports. So, but without no further ado, let's get into the installation. So, in order to install Armbian Linux distro, and then on top of that install QI, I think that's what you call, to help you install Klipper and Mainsail or Fluid and Moonraker and all that fancy gizmo. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna visit this website here. I think I have it up. You're gonna visit this website. It's called let me actually change so you guys can actually see that. There we go. So visit mrblue.co blogspot. I will have the link in the description, and I'll also have the link in the Amazon affiliate link for this as well, if you guys want to help me out and give me a little kickback on this. And any other link that you may need will be in the description. Visit this website here, and as you can see, it gives you clear instructions of how to install it. But for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna be doing it with you guys, so you guys also have a visual with the actual instructions. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and download the Armbian image here. So you can get one of this. I just picked one that says IMG-XE. Do not do the other ones. Do this because it actually has the image you need in order to get your part, in order to write to the SD card. Sorry. So download this. I've already downloaded it. If you're using WinRAR or anything like that, you're gonna have to extract it. So I'm gonna show you my download. So when I come here, you will see WinRAR, just extract it, and then you will see this image thing right here. The image. You can use whatever you use to write an image. I'm not sure if you can use Rufus, but if you want to use Rufus or Etcher, I use Raspberry Pi Imager. But whatever imager you want to use, you can use that. In this case, I'm going to be using Raspberry Pi Imager. So I'm going to go ahead and launch my Raspberry Pi Imager. So yes. So there we go. So I'm going to choose the OS. So in this case, we're going to choose a custom OS here. Click on here. And then my SD card is already installed. I have a 16 gigabyte PNY SD card. And so I'm going to hit write and write the image to the SD card. So the image is writing. So I'm going to pause this at the moment and then come back when it's done, because I don't want to bore you guys with the actual imaging part. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're back. So as you can see, the SD card, the image has been written to the SD card. So now we're going to go ahead and eject it and plug it in here. But we have some steps to do before we do that. So I'm going to go ahead, pull my SD card here, as you can see, with the image. And we're going to go back to that website and follow it. So we have done everything here. We're gonna plug the SD card into the device, right? So the SD card slot is near to the USB 3.0 port. So if you guys, let me let you guys can actually see that clearly here. So as you can see, the SD card port is right there, right? So we're gonna go ahead, pop it in there. Now it's the spring-loaded SD card port, so make sure you squeeze it and pop it in, because it is spring-loaded. So there we go. Okay. So the next thing we're going to want to do, we're going to plug an Ethernet port, an active Ethernet port in there. So we're going to go ahead. This is my active Ethernet port. We're going to plug it in the back here. And that pop right in. And then after that's done, what we're going to want to do, we're going to take I'm using a Q-tip. I took off the head of the Q-tip, but you can use a toothpick, like it's mentioned. You can use a toothpick or something that won't cause any short, because we'll be pushing the Q-tip in this AV port here, audio video port. In there, recess is a button, a reset button on the inside that we gotta keep press. We gotta press it down, and while it's pressed down, we gotta put the power button in to reset the system, so that way it can take the new operating system. Okay, so what I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and actually let me go ahead and plug it in first. Make sure this is plugged in. So make sure you plug it in first. Get your plug going. We're gonna go ahead and push it in, and to the feel a click, there's actually a button, so you can actually feel a visible click at the bottom. Once you got the click, keep it pressed down. We're gonna go ahead and plug it in. Once you plug it in, you see a red light here. That's just to show you that it's on. So we're gonna plug it in. So as you can see, the light is on. We're gonna hold it there for about 3 seconds. Then we're gonna remove it. Now I find that it doesn't really come up right away. Okay, so it takes about like a minute or two, depending, to hit your router. So if you have a wireless router, something you can access to see it, we're gonna do that. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and plug it out, and I'm gonna go ahead and plug it right back in. In the meantime that's happening, I'm gonna go ahead and launch my router. So I'm gonna go on my router. I'm using a TP-Link. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and type my router information in. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my screen. So now that I launched my router and log in, we're just waiting for the device to come up. So I'm gonna go to clients on my router here and see a list and see if we can see it. Now from what it seemed like, it should say AV something, like audio video something. I've done this before, so we're just waiting for it to populate here. Like I said, it takes a few minutes, and see, before it says 18, now it says 19, so I know it's populated somewhere. So if you look, and there we are, it's right here with that address. Okay, what I usually do from here is click on advanced setting, go to DHCP server, and then I add it to my reserve IP address list, so that way the IP address don't change, it stays the same, so I can find it at any given time. So that's what I do to add it, and as you can see, it's already added because I already did this before. Okay, so it says 199. So I'm gonna close out of this. Then the next thing we're gonna do, close this. I'm going to launch Putty. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, launch Putty. I'm gonna type in the IP address of this device and log into it. So we can go ahead, open, yes. The password, the login is, default login is root. Password is 1. Put in twice to confirm. Now it says chooses a system command shell that you want to use. I'm going to use Bash in this case. Now it's going to say provide your username. In this way, I'm just going to call it Marvel. I'm going to create a password for it as well, too. Then it says provide the real name for Marvel. I'm just going to put comics. Comics. All right. So it says, Dear Comics, your account Marvel has been created, and sudo enable, please use this account for your daily work from now on. Right? It's just generic stuff that you got to fill out. We're going to put Y yes for this. I'm going to press 1 in this case. And we're going to wait a second here. Let you guys see what I'm doing here. Let me make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. So it's just generating the locale, so that way, you know, we can get updated the correct time and address and such and such. All right. So that's where we at now. So before we go any further, if you try to go ahead and go to this site, This is the this is the GitHub for Kuwait. I don't know how to say it correctly, but correct me if I'm wrong. But this is what we're gonna install in order for it to help us install Klipper. Okay. If this was a Pi, we could just install mainsail or fluid image right there and then, and we wouldn't have to go through the trouble of this. But in this case, since we're actually installing a base Linux OS, we're installing this helper that kind of it's like a installation helper script that help us install Klipper, fluid, Klipper mainsail, Moonraker, and all the stuff we need in order to run the 3D printer. So we're gonna just copy this. As you can see, I already kind of have it highlighted. But here's the problem: if we copy this and paste it here, it's gonna give us an error. See, it says this script must not run as root. Okay, that's because we're in a root account. So we're gonna have to do a sudo su and then type in the account we created for it. So it'll be Marvel for me. And there we go. And now we're out of the root account. So now we can actually paste the command now, and it should work this time. And there we go. So now we have Kuwait Klipper installation and update helper interface installed, basically. So from here on out, it's pretty easy, guys. You wouldn't even need my help, but again, for demonstration purposes, we're gonna go ahead and install everything so you can see maintail and everything working, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and hit number 1 for install, because we need to install these programs. We're gonna do Klipper first, so we're gonna hit 1. We're gonna actually do Python 2.7 because that's recommended. Python 3-X is experimental, so we're gonna be stay on the safe side here, and hit 1 again, and enter. Then it's gonna ask you for instances. So in this case, if you wanted to run, even though this have 2 USB, like I said, you can get a USB 3.0 adapter and run multiple printer from this. But it's asking you if you want how much instances would you like to run of Klipper. In this case, I'm only using 1 printer. I like to use these devices per 1 printer. I don't like to, you know, run a bunch of printer off of these things. So, and it's cheap anyways. I'd rather just, you know, not over stress the processor and run multiple printer off of this device. So I'm gonna do 1 instances in this case. So I'm gonna click 1, hit enter, and hit Y for yes, and it's gonna install Klipper. And it's pretty quick, so we can just look at it, let it do its thing here. We're no longer gonna need this, so I'm gonna close it out. And we're no longer gonna need this site, so I'm gonna close that out, because everything will be on the interface from here on out. So let me shift myself over here, myself on the other side of the screen, so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so now it's saying I need a password, so I'm gonna go ahead and type my password for this, the one that you created. And once it's done, because right now it's just installing Klipper. Now I'm gonna skip this part, guys, because I don't want to bore you with the downloads. So once it's done, we'll come right back. Alright, now we're back, guys. So as you can see, it finished installing Klipper. So now it's asking me to perform the next action. So the next action I'm gonna immediately install is I'm gonna go ahead and install Moonraker and then mainsail. I don't think the order of things matter, because like I said, I have an extra one. This is what I'm going to be using in my 2.4. This is just a spare backup. But I don't think the order matters, so we're going to go ahead and install Moonraker. So we're just going to hit hit 2. Yeah, I just realized I cut off there, guys, but I hit number 2 to install Moonraker. So right now it's still currently installing Moonraker, and so yeah, I think my camera cut off there, so I just want to make sure you guys can are following along. So as you can see, it's still installing Moonraker. So once I set up done, we'll continue the process. And just like that, we're back. Now it's finished installing Moonraker. Now the next thing we're going to try to install is Mainsail. So we're going to press the... Alright guys, we're currently installing Mainsail. So it's asking if I need the MJPG streamer for webcam support. Of course I do, because I will be using a webcam on here. So I hit Y, hit enter, yes. Again, this is kind of self-explanatory. It says important macros needed, so yes, I'm gonna hit enter for important macros, and so it's installing everything needed here. So yeah, it's still installing Mainsail. So once it's done, we should be able to load up the web page, so you guys can actually see that it actually installs. So it's still going here. Trying not to make the video too long, that's why I keep cutting out a little bit, just to make sure the editing is a little short. Alright, it's still going, so let's go ahead and pause until it's done. Alright guys, we're back. So Mainsail is now installed. Now I could have just go ahead and install Klipper screen, but I'm not. I think you already guys got the point that it's pretty easy to install. So what we're gonna do to show you that it did install Mainsail, we're gonna go ahead and launch my screen here, and we're gonna go ahead and type in our address. So it'd be the address of the device, so that's 199.168.0.1. Yep, there we go. So, and there we go, and we have Mainsail. So as you guys can see, that was pretty easy. So from here on, you just do the regular Klipper thing. So as you can see, there's a bunch of package update here. So keep in mind, the operating system, the Armbian operating system, which is based on Linux distro, is, as you can see, that one was age. I think it was modified, but it was age. But you can actually go ahead and hit it, upgrade the packages by hitting upgrade, and that will upgrade the whole system packages to the latest package. And I did it on mine, and it didn't break anything. It actually worked pretty well. So we can say it's safe to say it's safe to update it once you actually got the OS on here. It's safe to update it. So as you can see, it says do not, please do not edit this file. Distro Armbian, as you can see. So it's working. The temp is a little bit high on this. Like I said, if you want to put a fan on this, this will be have active air blowing on it once it's in my my printer. So I'm not really worried about the temperature per se. So as you can see, the temperature is a little bit high, but as you can see, it's working, no problem whatsoever. I just wanted to demonstrate that to you guys, that it's pretty easy to install a Mainsail, Klipper, Fluid, everything on here. Everything is pre there. So yeah guys, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's not hard, it was just a little visual I wanted to show you guys, and just to give you guys a different option. Like I said, $28 for a A53 ARM quad-core processor that is pretty much equal to a Pi 3B, or again, it's kind of in between this. You're not losing any power running Klipper on this thing. It can also run input shaper, again, as long as you got to do it via a Pico and a USB. You can extend the USB out on this. The size for comparison, guys, is again, it's not bad. Let me go ahead and change the screen so you guys can see a little better here. Size comparison is not bad. I'm gonna put a picture up in the video so you guys can actually see it. But like, again, it's not bad at all. For $28, you really can't beat this. So yeah, that's it guys. So I hope you guys like that little quick tutorial. Please like and subscribe. And again, you know, if you guys want to donate to the channel, it's appreciated. You don't have to, but it's definitely going to go into little things like this. And yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys' support. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.